Well, today is Wednesday, it's the 6th of November, it's 2024, it's a beautiful sunny day, and here I am in Portals Nous. 2024, and it's post-election morning. We've just had the results of the election from the US, and it looks as though Donald Trump's going to be your president for the next 4 years, like it or not. But this video is especially for Martin and Barbara. Martin and Barbara are good friends from the UK who've been to visit us on so many times, and well, this is where one of the places they used to stay, which is the Hotel Marina Portals, which is actually open. And so I'm going to take a little bit of a walk through Portals Nous and just show you, and Martin and Barbara in particular, how things are now and pretty much how they've changed over all the years that you've been coming. That's the road down there that takes you to Armenover and beyond. Used to be Dulce's rent-a-cars over there, that's gone. And just back at the Marina Portals. Marina Portals, of course, used to be an apartment block that was many years ago converted to a hotel. Some of the restaurants down here have changed. Max's restaurant's now all part of the Moo Moo, which is now one of the big places here in Portals. Hairdressers next door, Bottino. Just before we leave, that used to be Manolo's restaurant. Manolo now in Hanover, I see him regularly, but for many years he had the restaurant there. Now it's called Meet and Eat Mallorca. If you need anything for a yacht, then this is the chandlery to come to. This is Multimarine, fixture in Portals Nous now for many years, and just like many places, we do have our own Indian restaurant, the Taj Mahal, and if you've got an Indian, you probably need to have an Italian next to it. In fact, we've got 2 Italians very close by. That one is Vivaldi. Before I leave this side, we've got the fish and chip shop. Well, it isn't anymore, it's more part of the well, it is a fish and chip shop, but it's part of the ship. Very popular with expats and all alike. Across there we've got El Tano. This used to be a bank. That's a supermarket through Bankamar. Looking across the road, El Tano, lawyer's office, going down towards the pharmacy. This estate agent's been here for a long time. And then what used to be our bank for many years is now a furniture shop. There's the pharmacy. It's a beautiful, warm, sunny day. Anita got up this morning about 7:30 saying, "Are we going for a swim?" And I was a little bit engrossed in the results from the American elections. Couldn't believe my eyes what I was seeing. Used to be the paper shop. Now it's lovely Portals next to the bake-off. And then across the road we've got Frankie's, and that's changed its name several times over the years. Now, we haven't actually been to Frankie's, but when it was the Flintstones, it used to be a regular place, particularly when Martin and Barbara were coming to stay with us. We'd pick them up at the airport and come along here, and it'd be the first place we'd go and have chicken and chips or something similar. Now that's the main square. I'm going to come back to that in a moment, but before we do, I'm just going to go down the road here. So this is the road where we used to live. I lived down here for about 13 years, and Martin and Barbara and the family used to come stay with us. One of the favourite places, one of the favourite eateries we used to go to is this one, except it was not called the Veranda before, it was Paco's. And they used to do a great menu del dia. We used to sit out there. It's actually been all glassed in. I've not noticed that before, but they're closed up now for the winter by the looks of things. And this would be the car park where the children would go and play football, or got the bikes and the scooters and the like. And across the road, that's where we used to live. And then from the house, we could walk just down the road. So, it's the gas man. Just the thing about these gas bottles, they are propane and butane gas bottles, and they're delivered to your home, so people put them outside like that, across the road there, and the gas man brings. Those are the ones that our daughter uses for her barbecue. Here, people use them for barbecues, but they use them for heating the home. They use them for cooking. That's what we do, we cook with gas. And we have those bottles, and they cost about 15 euros. And our daughter tells us they cost something like £45 in England. I really can't understand why it's so incredibly expensive compared with here. I do believe we do get a subsidy, so that's part of the reason they're cheaper here, but I don't think it's that much of a subsidy. And it's a relatively clean fuel compared with some other things. Just down there we've got a building site. I don't know how well you can see through the fence, but they've dug out a huge amount of land there, and a lot of construction is going to be going on in front of the, nearly said the American school, King Richard III. When we first came to the island, it was called the American School. I'm not sure which came first, ASM or AIS, American International School, or American School of Mallorca. I think ASM came first. But American education stopped here pretty much, and when they pulled out of Libya. And it became an English school, King Richard III. So just walking down the hill, I'm going down towards the beach, and just down here there's a municipal car park. So plenty of spaces available today. That's not so true in the summer when you come down. The other thing that's happened to parking now we've reached November is that those blue lines in the Calvia area don't count anymore. You can park there and you don't have to pay. So blue lines usually mean you've got to put some money in a meter. Not always, but usually. Car park in front of Marineland, it's got blue lines, but it's actually free if you put your number plate registration in. And that gives you a ticket and you get free parking for a couple of hours. If you go longer than that, of course you do have to pay. There is some street parking here today. Again, there's street parking. If we come here to go for a swim early in the morning, there's usually space for us to park the car. I'm just feeling the temperature today. We really could have come for a swim this morning. When I said that to Serena this morning when we spoke to her, she said it's November. It's a nice warm sunny November day for us, with hardly a cloud in the sky. looking forward. I'm not sure what's behind me. The weather forecast did actually say there could be showers today, so it could change later on. We'll wait and see. It's the gas man with his gas bottles. There are different sizes and types of gas bottles. So there's the standard one, which about 15 kilo, and it comes with either propane or butane. And then the big one that he's wheeling in there, 35 kilos, I think. So mostly propane, and they're used largely by restaurants. And then there's these with the blue top. These got aluminium in them. Gracias. Not a great deal of difference between butane and propane. It's different number of carbons in the chain. I did come here a few days ago just to have a look at what had happened after the storm, and well, it's all seems to have been filled in. The sands now in the area that had been washed away. But I'm not actually going to go down to the beach today. Somebody's swimming down there. I'm going to go up to the church, and that means I've got a lot of steps to go up. This is the area where the water comes down so quick. It can't get away quick enough down the grid there, and gets washed down and takes the beach with it. The gate here is open. This is taking me up to the church. I might turn the camera off because it's a lot of steps, as you can see. And they're not very good steps by the looks of things. A long time since I've walked up here. Very uneven, but well, they're not too bad. There we go. Just looking back, got Portals down there. We'll see that better when we get up to the top. A beautiful view as you walk up here. Nearly at the top now. And here's the gate. It's a little bit dangerous here, look. Through the gate. And the benches are free today. It's nice to see. And we have two flags today. A bit confused with that. We've got an orange and a green. The water's looking very clear, and there is a bit of a breeze today. Well, it is November, flags are out. I'm guessing that means that there's a lifeguard on duty, though I can't see the lifeguard. And there's lots of beach beds and parasols out. There is still a little bit of damage onto the beach down there where the water's washed away the sand. There's the island, quite often swim to. And the beach bar that was over on that side, that's been taken away now for the winter. You should never get enough of this view, can you? It's just so beautiful. The sun rays beating upon the beach. Not many boats out today. Very few, in fact. Well, I'm going to walk up now, back into the village, have a little look around there. Interesting place to leave a chair. Right. I'm guessing that's been dumped. There's the sports area. Very useful for the school to have this on their doorstep. It doesn't belong to the school, it's a municipal sports area. And there's the school, King Richard, formerly an American school. And there's much of this land here. I think all of this part actually belongs to the church. It's the piece next to it that's being developed. And there used to be apartments and houses all along here. And now there's just a big hole in the ground. There's the school, King Richard III. Which did have a big sign above the gate, which has disappeared. I'm going to put the camera up so you can have a look at the building site from this side. you'll be able to see things I can't see. Now we got to a fence where I can actually see. Whatever they do build here, it's going to be pretty grand. And being right in the middle of Portals, it's going to be pretty expensive. We're heading now just towards the village. Some nice bungalows on that side. I'm not going to go all the way to the top here, I'm just going to take a left here. That allows us to see inside at the big hole that's being created. I will be keeping my eye on what goes there. We've had several friends who used to live in this block. We lived just across the road in the house directly in front. And well, Barbara, who lived here, sort of became like a little grandmother to the family. Sadly, she's now passed away. This is the back entrance to what, until recently, was the secret garden. It was Blanco Negro when we first came here. It has changed hands several times since Blanco Negro days. And, well, we all wait to see what happens next. This is the back entrance of the supermarket Sidon, where we would do much of our grocery shopping, really, because it was so close. It was literally around the corner. If you needed a bottle of milk, you just went around the corner and got it. Except it would usually be a carton. I will be getting back to the village in a moment. I'm just going to go a little bit further up here. That's where I went down to the sea. Some quite amazing villas in Portals, mixed with some of the original houses that were here as well. And there's one on this corner that was bought and then demolished and rebuilt again. What the difference was, the one in front of us has also been demolished and rebuilt and must now be one of the biggest properties in the village. The main reason I wanted to come around here actually was to have a look at this building on my left here. Take a walk down. And when we first came, this was a hotel, and then quite bizarrely it became a home for the elderly, but still was a hotel at the same time. And so you had guests coming on holiday And you had other people who were living there permanently as a hotel, as a rest home for the elderly. It was quite bizarre, and that went on for a year or two, and then it became a full-time home for the elderly. Well, that eventually went. Anita used to go there and do performances, and our friend Peter, the pianist, we used to go and practice the piano there and entertain the guests. Somewhere along the line, the home for the elderly closed. I don't know how they managed to do that, because they did sell rooms off. They must have bought them out. And the whole place was redone, remodelled. And we now have apartments. And that's quite amazing, really, because it's now a residential block, and how they managed to get the change of use from a hotel. Maybe that was the plan all along, I don't know. But very nice. Now I'll go back up to the main street. I'm actually going to walk this way. There's some interesting buildings. I've always been a little bit fascinated by this particular one, which I don't know if it still is. I think it probably is still apartments. But when we first came here, there was no buildings in front, and the terraces here on this side, and the Portals Nous block here were not there. They were new. There used to be a walkway that went down and you could look over the port, but it started to collapse, so they closed it off and they built this apartment block. It's all very nice. It's referred to as apartamentos, Portals Nous. And if there's any BIS students that hail from a long time ago, the original founder of BIS was a lady named Sarah Lane Wise. Sarah Lane Wise used to live in the house here at the end, and well, it used to be a regular walking past us. Used to have a quick walk to the end of here. Sarah Lane Wise was quite a character, and she founded the Baleares International School. She needed somewhere to educate her daughter, who I think now lives in Madrid. And so she started a school, originally in Terreno, I'm quite sure where that was. And then she moved to Calamayor, and up until recently you could still see the sign that said Baleares International School. It had never been successfully painted over, and they used to have a place there where the Salvation Army used to be, and then to the place in San Agustin, which is back to being Baleares International, and they've changed the name from school to college. Not sure why they did that. I think business-wise it's actually still called Baleares International School. You used to be able to get to the end here. It looks as though you can't anymore. And you'd be able to look down onto the sea there. There's the apartments. They are nice apartments, they do look nice. And we're walking back now towards the village. And along here there have been some new houses built. These go down to the road that I walked down to, the steps that took me down to the beach, so these are all built below. You can see. Sarah Lane Wise had always got tales to tell, and I used to have to walk her home and she'd always be telling me a tale. I always remember how warm it was in her house, really warm in the depths of winter. And she used to tell me that her husband was an FBI agent. And just on this side, some more nice villas. One of them was lived in by someone became a friend named Bogdan, a Polish man who knew Anita's father, and well, he gave me the power of attorney to actually sign for his house. Very trusting. This was always a piece of land which was unused, and they've now built on it. As was this. The only thing that was ever on that piece of land was an old boat which was never going to sail anywhere. Now, very modern house. The apartments across the way, well, they've been there since we arrived on the island, and probably for quite a long time before that. So they've been a fixture here. This was the home of the local artist, who still has things on the roof. There's the house again, and I'm just going to head back up into the village. I'm back up to Frankie's. I was trying to remember what the ship was called. It was at one time called Sylvester's. And the Flintstones. The hairdressers across the road had been various things. It was something to do with yachts before, selling boat engines, I think. For a very short time it became an Aldi. And that didn't last very long at all for some reason. Probably too much competition from Sidon across the road. Medbar's been there a while now. And the bank, well, it's changed a couple of times. This is the main square for the village, and it's where during fiestas they always used to get together, particularly the one in January. Where the taxis are, and it's the bus stop. It's the supermarket across the road there. So this square, they used to have the bonfire here. They used to put a big dump of sand and then build a bonfire on it. and it got so hot one year it actually cracked the glass on the bus stop there. Somewhere I've got a photograph of the bank in front of us, which is now Bancomark. It wasn't Bancomark now, it was Banco Credito back in the day. And the flames looked as though they were burning the place down. There's another little shopping area over there which has never been, to my mind, very successful. There's a couple of estate agents there, and a clinic. The most successful time was actually when it was COVID time. That was where you used to have to get your vaccinations. And down here we've got a few little shops, one of which was the bookshop which we used to go to at one time, run by fellow mason John Toombs. It used to be the Coral restaurant. In fact, it used to take over a couple of locales. But, not sure whatever happened to him. Irish rent-a-car's been there forever. Barbecue here. This is the Ferreteria, which is the place to go to here in Portals for everything to do with ironmongery type stuff. Every little bit they've got. I'm coming all the way down here because there's one place which fits very much into our lives of Portals Nous, and that's the opera of the pizzeria, which we used to go to pretty much almost every Friday night. We'd be in there together with another load of locals. We'd all through the year we'd be going in there, and certainly with Barbara and Martin, the children, it was one of the places we would go. Sadly, the owners are no longer the owners, at least the owners that we knew, and Kathy sadly passed away. Lifestyle properties and yachts. It's been there for quite a while now. Imperial properties on the end there, next to Ticket, and all of that there used to be the Yacht Chandlery Multimarine, and before that it was actually a supermarket a long time ago. And one of the places we still go to is Chamelli's, and we'd go there with Barbara and Martin as well, together with Angela. Angela would go there. And one of our favourite places for a breakfast. It's just a nice atmosphere, nice food, good service. In front we've got the Rude Bar. That was, again, one time was a bank. It was the original La Caixa Bank, which has now moved 3 times. Twice. While it's been in the village. Quite strange how these banks do this. I don't know what's going on. It's Chamelli's. And the secret garden. Well, for the final shots, I've come back to our roots, Anita and I. When we first came to the island, this is where we lived and this was our local beach. Yeah, we're still in Portals Nous, and yes, this is the Portals Nous beach, just off the Plaza España of Portals Nous. And we used to live just a few yards away from here, right back in the beginning, 1985, 86. And then we moved up into the village. But it's still got a very warm place in our hearts, and where we like to keep coming back to. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and particularly Barbara and Martin, we hope to see you very, very soon. And I'm going to leave you with some parting shots of the beach. You never believe it was the 6th of November, and now there are a couple of boats out there, and there's paddle boards, people swimming in the sea. And well, the beach bar's open over there, so you can have a drink. Sunbeds are out, and the hotel there open and looking very nice. Not sure how much longer that one's going to be open, but certainly an asset to the area. A few weeks ago, the sand, well, the water was almost up to the wall here.